you detaining?
I am. You see your receipt. So when they ask you, you have to show it. So do you have a receipt for the merchandise?
Am I,
You're being stopped and
Okay,
asked for
being
your
stopped.
receipt for the merchandise.
I have a receipt, and I have
I've already
to show
answered
it.
that, so just show your receipt real quick.
and if I don't show a receipt, I'm under arrest for theft?
That's your words?
No, I'm asking.
So I need to see the receipt right now.
Does that give you probable cause to arrest
It's
me if I
reasonable
don't
suspicion.
show you my
It's a
receipt?
reasonable suspicion.
But what charge would I have?
Okay, you're being detained for walking out, so you didn't come from the registry. You have the right to ask for your receipt, so just show it. That's the store policy.
Okay, store
Okay.
policy as far as what I've been told is they can ask for a receipt, but that they can't detain you if you
Okay,
don't
and-
show them a receipt.
And I don't work for the store, I'm the police department. And
Sure.
I'm asking you for the receipt.
Sure, but like,
Okay, so
if-
let's see it.
the whole point is,
We can play this legal game all day, or you can be on your way like an adult. Do we want to act like adults, or do we want to act like a 4-year-old?
well, I would like to understand exactly
We already
what would
have.
happen if I don't answer or don't do certain things. Like, for instance, I have rights to not be searched without a warrant.
Okay?
I don't
That's
consent to
actually
searches.
not true.
I don't
You have
consent
to
to any
have a
searches
warrant
of my
to search
person.
someone. That's
And,
not true.
Okay, well, I'm just saying,
Okay. So
far as I
I'm
understand-
not here for a legal class. I don't have time for that.
Well, what do
We're
I have
asking
to
you for
show
the
you?
receipt. What you have to do is provide a receipt to this young lady right here.
okay, that, to me, I've been told,
Okay, I don't know anything about that, sir. Do you have your receipt, yes or no? That's a direct question that I'm asking you.
Okay,
Are you telling
um,
me you do not have one?
okay,
Are you telling me you do not have a receipt?
by me not answering that question, that is not a confirmation nor a denial. I think we're getting ahead of ourselves here.
Okay. So we're going to turn this into
I-
a federal case over a pack of cheese. Is that what's going on? How old are you, sir?
I'm 31.
So let's act 31. Do you have a receipt?
And
or
that's
not?
why I'm asking you guys,
Okay.
is what is the consequence if I don't show a
The
receipt?
consequence is that you'll be further detained while we have to get security to see if you did pay by checking their cameras and going to the cashier and all that while you're held, or you can just show her the receipt and be on your way, which is what you want to do, right?
Well, it says in my rights not to be searched. I don't mind being detained for you guys.
You are being detained, so if you don't
Well-
mind that, that's just a bonus.
Yeah, look, if you guys can ascertain that I did steal this without having to, for me to search, if that's still a
Then
possibility.
have a seat right there for me.
Okay, thank you. That's all. Like, I just have rights, you know.
I'll
No worries.
get all the way down. You have your ID?
Okay, so I am required to show my ID
You are.
at this point.
You are.
Okay. I did pay a license plate out ticket a long time ago, so I wasn't able to pay a license plate out ticket in my
you have a
hometown.
warrant?
No, so I had the license canceled, and so the next time I saw a cop, he saw the license.
I just had him go. I just
He,
had him do it for me.
he saw the license and basically told me that I'm only allowed to have an ID, so he relinquished the license. So I haven't been able to go get an ID since. I can tell you all my information.
Probably one. I'll be detaining one after What's your first name?
William, William,
And your last name?
Montgomery, Montgomery.
And your date of birth?
July 7th, 1985.
85?
Yeah.
Go ahead and set the merchandise down while we get this figured out.
Okay, so I don't feel like I need to be going into my own pockets for anything. So if you guys want to go through my pockets, or
Is that all you have on you?
well, I'm just saying, like, you know, I don't have anything else on me. I just don't like being searched, and so I already put this in my pocket.
We're-
So
you're at
You
your
saw the
request,
cheese.
We're holding you so that we can investigate whether you
Okay.
paid for that or not. So for them to investigate that, they have to know what it is that you may or may not have paid for.
gotcha.
It's common sense here, right?
No, I got you. It's just that
As long as you're
I
working
feel like we're
with
doing
it.
things backwards.
So you're William Montgomery, 77 of 85?
Absolutely.
You might have a warrant?
No.
Okay, then what was the whole point of telling me the story about
Because I don't have a physical ID. People always wonder why I don't have a physical ID. I just haven't been able to get an ID because I just had a
You got
license.
nothing with your name on it?
I don't have any. Well, I have like credit cards
go
and
through
stuff.
life, right? You gotta have
Yeah, I
credit
got
cards
through.
and cash checks and
Yeah,
stuff like
I just
that.
need to get an ID because I just had my license taken because I simply didn't have a ticket.
Okay, can you show me something that shows Gordon Montgomery on it?
Sure, but like I don't think that's gonna. I mean, look.
So since you
That should check out for red hair. What's
pardon my
62?
lawyer, I'll refresh your memory, okay? Because I have reasonable suspicion to detain you, one of the requirements in the state of Colorado is to provide an ID upon request. You're telling me you don't have like a state issued ID, so I'm actually working with you more than I have to by telling you to show me something else, like a credit card or something, just to substantiate that you do have that.
Sure,
But
but
I don't
if
even
I
have to do that. What
sure.
I could do is take this a step further when there's no reason to. We're talking about a pack of cheese here, sir.
Well, sure, but I guess I've just never had to show a credit card before for identity. Like if I didn't have a credit card, you'd still have to go off with my name and stuff.
No, absolutely, but that
So-
clears that up for me, is what I'm saying.
Man,
So
I don't
are
want
you
to
a
go.
human being that's difficult, or
Well,
do you like to work with
well,
people?
I've just been. I've been told by a lot of people
Okay.
in law enforcement, legal authorities, everything about my rights,
Okay.
and I
So
just
then
find it very
there's no
questionable to be
question
going
there
through my
about reasonable
identity.
suspicion?
You know, yeah, reasonable suspicion, sure, and that's why I said I don't have an ID. I tried to tell you the
So
topic
do you
just
have the
physically.
receipt for the cheese?
Well, questions wise, that doesn't. I don't feel like I should have to even answer that question because you guys can do your
Okay, well, let
investigation
me
and
ask you
ascertain
more
that
directly then.
either
You
way.
pay for the cheese? That's a direct question.
If I don't answer that question, am I under arrest for theft?
Okay, well, no. Like I said, they're investigating that first. But if you pay for it, then that clears this up. We can all just get on our way. Does that not make any sense to you?
Well,
So what register did you go to?
holding somebody for an investigation is one thing.
So you worry about that. Are you
So-
able to see if you paid through the registers for that?
Yeah.
Can we do that real quick? I appreciate it.
Because I feel like you guys can do that yourselves first. I don't want to start giving information.
William, here's the thing, man. I can tell that you're very interested in exercising your rights, and I'm a big advocate of that. And here's the thing, is I don't usually argue people's rights. What I usually do is say you're welcome. Okay? If that makes any sense to you. You're welcome for your rights that you have because I paid for that. Combat veteran, 3 tours overseas, so you don't have to argue your rights with me. I'm the biggest advocate of your rights to the right. The problem is we have a job to do. This lady asked you for your receipt, and they have the right to ask you. You won't answer the question whether you paid for it, or you stole it, or you have the receipt, whatever. So now you're being detained through reasonable suspicion while we conduct an investigation. So that has covered every worry and legal tier that you would have to worry about to tell you reasonably why you're sitting here right now. Okay? So we're going to hold you here for a little bit longer while we find out, or you could produce a receipt or tell me that you paid for it, what register and all that. We can get you on your way. Because you're 31 years old. You're not a 4-year-old that plays games. We're all adults here that got better things to do. Did any of your friends ever tell you that? Have you ever been told that before?
I have actually. Yeah.
Do you agree with that? To act like an adult? Or do you like to
My
play
parents,
games?
my parents have said it before,
Okay.
and I take it as a very defamatory type of statement because
Yeah,
I
like
haven't
an
even.
adult?
Well, I haven't even had a chance to really get across anything in terms of substantiating my agendas or goals or anything like that. And so I feel like people misuse my information faster than I can get it out, and that ends up being defamation, and it's very hard to get out of that trap.
Okay, I won't speak for anybody else.
And so,
but I can tell you that for me, I do think fast, and like I said, I do this job. I've been doing it for 23 years, and I got a lot better things to do, to be honest with you, than to hold you here for 20 minutes or whatever while we talk about a pack of cheese. There's other stuff.
Exactly. That to me, honestly, I actually find to be violation of my rights. I feel like I'm being illegally detained right
Well, you can
now.
look at it that way, but you can look at it
You know?
as you're taking public safety away from everybody else.
Well, that's the thing is I've been instructed, told by them that they're not supposed to be able to stop people who don't show receipts.
They didn't. I did. So
But
that's-
are you a security guard that works for
I'm a
them?
police officer for Commerce City.
But what reasonable suspicion would you have of what crime
That
at this
she
point?
asked you for your receipt, you kept walking, you put it in your pocket, and then you will not produce a receipt or tell me that you paid for it.
Okay, so what?
Like I
would-
said, you can turn this isn't
but
a
that's what I'm
courtroom.
saying is I'm
You're
still.
not on trial right now.
I'm
This
still
isn't
trying
a
to
place
figure
for you
out
to be
where
determined.
you would go with this if I didn't stop.
You're the person being detained.
If I didn't stop, you would physically arrest me?
Those are your words.
No, I'm asking. Okay, if I didn't stop you.
You're asking, how would I know what I would have done over something that you didn't do?
Well,
It's a hypothetical
well, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't. So I'm trying to clarify. I'm only being detained for investigation purposes, and I'm only being.
and we all blow up. And
Well, let's
what
just.
happened then?
Okay, let's
You
just clarify a couple things. Just clarifying. I'm not being detained for any sort of arrest for either a
are being
citizen's
detained.
arrest.
You are being detained. You're not listening.
Well, I'm just asking, is it a
This is
detainment
several
for a
times-
reasonable
several
suspicion
times
only?
into this.
So, suspicion.
So are you ready to get your answer?
Yeah.
Okay, you are being detained for reasonable suspicion
Okay.
over that you have not paid for that tax. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna repeat that every time.
Yeah. That's all I'm trying to clarify. That I'm not under arrest for theft.
You're not under arrest.
Okay.
Those are your words.
Yeah, no, well, I'm just,
I
I have to clarify this because you are kind of inadvertently, potentially could be working for the store in a sort of unofficial
In the
capacity,
of a police officer.
but you are not the store owner, and so you can have reasonable suspicion for your own stops, and that's just a challenge between you. Exactly.
Have anything to do with
Exactly.
my world about
Yeah.
where
No,
you're
exactly. Yeah. This is where I get to challenge you in court for an unlawful seizure of 42 USC because I feel like this is illegal. I feel like there's no lawful justification, no reasonable suspicion
So
for
do
you
you
to be
even
stopped.
know what reasonable suspicion is?
Yeah, absolutely.
So a reasonable suspicion is anytime someone gets stopped on like walking down the street for questioning, a traffic stop is actually based on reasonable suspicion, not probable cause. None of those people are arrested under the premise of reasonable suspicion. We have to have probable cause to arrest.
Oh yeah.
And we're not at that level of probable cause yet. So you're the one who keeps saying that you've been arrested for this, this, and this. You have not been arrested. You're the only person that has said that.
I keep saying that because there are situations out there where security has told me that the only powers they have to detain is the citizen's arrest
Awesome.
for shoplifting.
Good for the security.
And so
I have nothing to
you
do with that.
working with them, not working, but obviously taking one of their calls that she asked
So let
for
me
a
just
seat.
fast forward
So,
this through to where-
well, I'm just saying, the reason why I always go down that path is because I know that a
So here's
security guard
the-
only
you're
has
being
the power.
detained under reasonable suspicion
Yeah, that's
while
you.
While they conduct an
Exactly, that's you.
investigation.
Yeah.
If they come right now and say that, yeah, he went through Register 6 and he paid for that with cash or whatever, there would be no further thing. That's what reasonable suspicion is. This is the law enforcement chance to find that out.
And then
It
basically-
doesn't mean you're going to jail or you're going to prison or
But,
anything like that.
okay, you're right. However, if they go, while I'm being detained, if they go and find out that I didn't pay for the cheese, you guys would go ahead and just arrest me for
I would
theft?
arrest you, you'd be given a ticket, and then
So we would be graduating from reasonable suspicion to probable cause.
exactly.
Okay.
Department,
Okay. I got you on that one. I got
you
you.
got a little Aaron. Are you still on Flint Ridge?
No, it's 305 West Magnolia Street, PMB 221,
What's PMC?
PMB private mailbox
Okay.
221,
What city is that?
Fort Collins, Colorado 80521.
Oh, yeah.
Am I still being detained?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah. I'll keep you up to date on everything you got. Okay.
I did not pay for that cheese? You're telling me I did not pay for this cheese?
Mr. Montgomery, go ahead and stand up for me. Anything else you can find your head? Your release your fingers? Do you have anything else on you that belongs to the store?
No,
Do you have any weapons on you?
no. So I'm under arrest.
So at this point, you are under arrest for shoplifting.
Okay.
We're going to take you back to the security office. If you stay cooperative, like I said, I'll release you on a ticket.
Okay. I understand that.
This is your phone. Mr. Montgomery, you going to be cooperative?
Yes.
Do I have to cuff you?
No.
All right, go ahead and put your hands down, and we're gonna walk straight to the back of the store, okay?
Okay.
Appreciate it. 611, or I'm sorry, 1311. And I'll take a PR for that.
What's your name?
Officer Calvano, he'll be on your kid. I'll give you a card as well.
That number?
2225.
Sworn officer?
What's that?
Oh, the sworn officer.
Sworn officer, yes, sir.
Someone specific?
Yes, sir. Go in this office right here, and just behind the door there's a bench. Sit on the bench, okay? I appreciate you. Man. So with the sign that you're carrying, are you living on the street?
It's a long story.
Okay. Are you getting enough to eat?
Not really.
Are you staying warm?
Mostly.
It's been good the last couple of days, but to be honest with you, we're actually good advocates of our homeless in Commerce City, and so that's why I'm asking. I'm generally concerned. This cheese thing, that's a small deal in the grand scheme of things, like I was telling you, of everything that's going on here in our world. But people freezing to death and stuff like that is a bigger deal to us. Okay. Charlie 131, I apologize. What was my CR?
10561056.
Thank you. Have you ever been arrested in a Walmart before? Ever?
Charlie 6 revoking that's coming up.
Because usually they won't trespass you on your first offense, but if you were like one of their frequent flyers, they'd actually ban you from the property. Yeah. So you won't be in their internal system.
No, shouldn't be.
All right, good deal. Have you ever heard of that we have that food bank on 72nd?
No, I'm from Fort Collins. We've already tried the food banks there. In general, it's not the right type of food that we can cook without cooking utensils,
Sure,
fires,
sure.
anything like that. So it's mostly for families.
Gotcha.
Not many people know that.
Charlie 631 contact.
In contact. 1960.
Oh, if you got one, let me get it. Start. Well, Janosco, he was $1 late and they paid. Hey, Janosco, you can disregard on that ticket. Is that back door open for him? He's in the dark. Even better, thank you. I didn't know 8th grade.
I didn't need the address.
That's something I didn't have. There's that stuff back for you.
Hey, what's your name?
My name, Kyle.
I mean, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Is that your first name, last name?
What's that?
Is it your first name or last name?
That's my first name.
First name.
Yep, last name's Janosko.
Sure enough.
Yep,
Badge number?
4525.
What'd you say the unit number was? The private mailbox?
BMB 221.
And do you have a phone number, Mr. Montgomery?
Yeah, 970-412-5463.
And your social is 521-637-257.
Yep. I promise I am who I say.
No, the physical's close enough. We don't have too many 6'2", 170 redhead guys, so.
A lot of us rednecks don't break 5'10".
Cool.
How's the streets tonight?
Joe. My second call.
All right, Mr. Montgomery, so it's going to be a citation for theft, $2.37. My name and badge number is down here at the bottom. It's got the date, time, location, the value of the item, all the stuff that you would need to know is up here at the top. So the way this is going to work is Commerce Seat is going to mail you a letter. It's going to go to that address that you provided to me in about 3 weeks. When that letter comes in the mail, that will be what has your court date. So your court date's not going to be on this ticket. It's going to be on the letter you get in the mail. So make sure that you have, access to that letter when it comes, because if not, and you miss court, they'll put a bench warrant out for your arrest, okay? So your signature right there doesn't mean that you're guilty of anything, just says that you'll appear at the date and time that the letter says. And if you do have any questions for the courts during that time, you can call that phone number I circled. Once we turn the ticket in, it's really the court's deal and out of the police department's hands. Right? Put that pen back. Yeah, it's actually.
Well, I promise you can go with
Copy that. We're just gonna wait for any paperwork they have for you, and we'll get you out of here, okay?
We're good,
You're good?
not in the system and anything else.
All right, Mr. Montgomery, go ahead and gather up your stuff right there. Appreciate you being cooperative.
Sure.
You didn't throw a punch at that lady or anything, and
Before we leave, good question.
Yeah.
I need to report a crime,
Okay.
and it is attempting to influence a public servant.
Okay.
And these individuals have lied about me paying for this item.
Okay.
And what just happened is extremely illegal and now needs to be dealt with more appropriately
Okay.
from here on out.
Okay.
Okay? This is pretty important now, okay?
I'll put that in the report.
Okay, I'm gonna reach into my pocket. It's a receipt.
So why wouldn't you just provide that to me when you were asked?
Because I was exercising my rights. My rights haven't gotten me criminally charged.
The thing is,
So-
that's not a crime on their part for trying to influence us.
They said
made
that
a
they
mistake.
didn't,
made a
they
mistake.
said that I didn't pay for it. So you guys took them in good faith, which is
Okay.
understandable.
We did.
But that's why you need to go ahead and, well, am I free to go or?
Well, I want to avoid your ticket because you're not going to get charged since you paid for it.
Well, I'd rather have the court deal with this at this point. I think we need to just file something bigger for.
Well, I'll put that in the report, but I'm not going to, I won't let the ticket go forth because now I know that information's not true, so. Come on back in here, Mr. Montgomery. Let me have the copy of this back.
Am I being
You're
detained?
still in
Am I
my,
being
you're
searched?
still in my custody.
Oh, so now I'm back in your custody.
I haven't released you yet. 'cause we
You
didn't make
literally
it
just
out-
said I was free to go.
Well,
You
we
said I was
didn't
free to go a
make-
long
we didn't
time
make it out-
ago.
we didn't make it out that
Am I
way.
being re-detained on something?
Okay, Mr. Montgomery, do you want to give me the ticket back or no?
I actually want my receipt back.
Okay. Hold on one second. Do you want to step out so you don't feel like you're being held?
No, I'm fine here. I just, yeah. I just really need my receipt back. Can I have my receipt back?
Yeah, give us just a second here real quick, man.
The longer you don't give me my receipt back, the more I feel like I can't leave.
Okay, well, we're trying to exonerate you.
Well, you have all the evidence. You can go through your system. You don't need me now. I don't think you do.
Go ahead and leave then.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Montgomery, so are you telling me that you will not return that ticket back to me so that I can void it?
Well, it's just my copy. It's already voided in this. In your
Well, no,
system.
if I void it, our procedure is I have to have back the one that I served you. I have to write void on that.
I already signed it. And I actually want to go to court.
Okay.
For it, so.
Okay,
I mean,
well, here's the thing,
well,
is
you know.
the case is gonna get dismissed before it ever goes to court because my report's gonna say that you showed that you did pay for it. So there won't be a court date for the shoplift because the municipal district attorney's not gonna take the theft case forward.
Okay.
So, like I said, but what I will do is I will write this up factually as far as what happened, and then if you have any complaint against us or Walmart or whatever, that'll be in there, your case number's on the top of that, okay?
Okay, so that actually brings me to a very good question. I feel like I was falsely imprisoned tonight,
Okay,
against my will, detained
okay,
without probable cause,
okay, you've stated that.
and I would like for you to help me file false imprisonment charges against
Well,
Walmart. It's a
you would have-
criminal
you would-
charge.
you would have to go to the-
18-303,
Okay,
false imprisonment.
okay. You would have to go to the police, because you can't.
So I
the
can't,
officer-
I can't literally verbally report this
Well,
to you
this
right
is what
now
I'm trying to tell
because
you.
you're the one
The
that knows
officers-
more than anybody else.
The
about
officers
this
that you're
situation.
saying that did it shouldn't be the ones to take that report, right?
You're right. You're the one that arrested me.
So do you want a supervisor over here?
Quite honestly, yeah, I do
Okay.
actually.
Okay, no, that makes
Yeah,
perfect
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
We're
That's kinda what I was trying to get to.
transparent, and that way there's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
conflict, okay?
Coming from the entry exit and interior hall.
Because attempted influence charge. Can I have my keys too?
Charlie 131, Charlie 20. Absolutely. Hey, Janosco, can you grab that keys for me? Charlie 131 to Charlie 20. Can you stop by Walmart?
Kelly, what you wanted your question, you got my Walmart?
I had a couple questions too. What are those receipts there?
Those are copies that they made for us to put with the case report for the value of the item. So they just go scan it.
Okay,
when
so
we
they
recover it.
never still found me in their system.
Control
So they have-
6, start
Okay,
button.
so yeah, gotcha. That's what.
For like a previous theft, you're not in the system.
No, not that.
So Mr. Montgomery, I'm gonna have you step out.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
You guys don't need me anymore, I don't think?
Well,
I
the
wanna stay with the supervisor.
Supervisor.
So exactly.
Yep, do you want me to
Yes.
tell me where you're at?
Please,
All
thank
right.
you.
got
I will
it.
be here. Yeah, when they came back and said that I didn't pay for the cheese, I guess if you take that in good faith for a probable cause,
We do, because they're the ones that go and investigate it.
yeah.
I
But
mean, we don't know
I
how to
guess,
pull up their registers. and
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
But you know, wherever the liability is drawn, and so if you know, if you're not the one that falls to prison me, then it would be them.
Yeah, I'm
So,
just telling you that we
that's,
do
you
things
know-
a certain way. So you were initially detained under reasonable suspicion, and then after they came and said that there hadn't been a payment made, that bumped it to probable cause, and that's when you got issued the ticket.
Exactly.
Okay,
And then
so-
obviously, I've been seized illegally because I really did pay for it, and so that information that they gave you was bad. And whether or not they got that correctly or not for themselves, I feel like is a charge of falsifying information to authorities, like a fake 911 call.
Yeah, we're having a sergeant come
Exactly.
and tell him what you think you got going
Yeah,
on. And,
because you know, I mean, I understand your position. You got to go off of their information, but also too, you know, you don't have to buy people's information. You can substantiate it, you know, because otherwise you might. It just kind of looks like you're just acting out there, coppery, you know.
well, you have
You're
to
their
understand.
security- but I understand.
Okay, as long as you do, Mr.
Yeah, yeah,
Montgomery.
no,
So, yeah,
believe
hang
me.
out here. There's a sergeant.
Believe me, there's formalities, technicalities. Could be better. Could be worse. So.
All right, how can I help you tonight?
Well, my brother and I have been through this enough times that we're tired of it. And so it's a weird way to start off the conversation, but basically we know where we can exercise our rights, and we feel as though we keep getting trapped in places where people think that they can exercise their rights. And so the easiest one is when a citizen arrests another citizen, like a security guard at a King Soopers for shoplifting. Can't do reasonable suspicion because you're not a cop. You can only do citizen's arrests, and it's for shoplifting. And you have to see him, like any other crime. Like you can citizen's arrest anybody for any reason if you witness the crime in front of him. And so I was arrested tonight off of a relationship between this police officer and this security guard, or she's an employee, it was. But she...
Gal at the door.
Yeah, the gal at the door, exactly. I'm sure you've been filled in on someone on this.
A little bit.
And so it was just an experiment, but it's not really an experiment because it's real life scenarios that my brother and I keep getting trapped in. And in this case, we really, really, really wanted to exercise all of our rights to not be searched, so forth and so on. I gave up my ID. We were detained during an investigation for Walmart as they took whatever time they wanted to figure out if I had stolen or not. Kind of like how a security guard might stop me themselves. And so instead the cop stopped me. And he has the reasonable suspicion, he says, because they reported to him that I didn't have a receipt.
Right.
But there's two different things here going on. One, we've been told many times by Walmart employees that they are instructed not to ever stop somebody themselves. They don't have the reasonable suspicion, or they don't have the probable cause, or the citizen's arrest, or the shopkeeper's privilege to ever detain somebody that refuses to show a receipt. And
They
so,
physically detain you?
yeah, they
did?
Oh,
They grabbed you?
Here, I consented to the authority. Well, I asked if I was being detained, and he said yes.
The
And so,
officer or
yes.
the...
the officer.
Okay.
Police officer. So yeah, I've definitely been detained for a very, very long time while they figured out their investigation. But it was live without the information, and so it was like, it feel like they could have figured all that information out without detaining me, and instead they unlawfully held me live during the investigation. My brother and I have been kind of, I don't want to say profiled like this before, but it's a, out of the ordinary circumstances. But people have their policies, and the policy has always been to not detain someone who doesn't show a receipt. And so, someone who doesn't show a receipt is a, call it a store policy versus a statutable offense. And so, if someone doesn't follow a store policy, I find it very hard to believe that that would give a officer of the law reasonable suspicion to stop them themselves, because it can be any policy. It's like skateboarding, for instance. If a skateboarder shows up on a property and the guy wants him off, he can't literally arrest him instantly the moment he sees him skateboard. He has to give him the chance to leave, ask him to leave, and then if he doesn't, then the police get there, and the police don't even care.
Okay, well, let's just talk about this. Let's just talk about
Yeah,
it today.
it's hard to explain, but it's basically, there's no such thing as a policy that you can hold somebody for. You can't hold someone for an investigation for skateboarding to see if they're banned for previously skateboarding. For instance, if they have like a trespassing warning route. No, that's just a business owner with their own, like they can take a picture of somebody that's skateboarding.
Let's just talk
See what I
about
mean?
what today.
Okay.
We're not talking
It's,
about skateboarding. We're talking about
Well, sorry.
allegedly
Yeah,
shoplifting.
there's a lot of, sorry. My brother and I have these examples that we go through to make sure
Okay,
it's not that type of
I'm going to
thing. So,
back
yeah.
you up just a second.
We're getting-
Hey,
exactly.
you said that this was an experiment?
No,
Is this like you guys planned on doing this?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's like not planned, but not like you kind of think planned. But it's the type of plan where if I didn't show my receipt, and if I say I didn't even show my ID for the thing, I would be going to jail right now, otherwise hanging out in jail over false information that Walmart provided to go ahead and arrest me. And I find that extremely illegal. I was basically arrested without lawful justification. Or at least if the cop says he has probable cause, the point is that there is bad information they were given. They did not do their own good investigation. They lied to the police and said that I didn't pay for it when I did.
Okay. Do you understand though that they went and looked at the video and they didn't show that you ever went to.
Yeah, it looks like they did a really bad
Oh,
investigation.
and they might have.
You could have asked to register.
The officer acted
you know.
on what they told him. Right.
Yeah.
So, and once they found out that you didn't have a receipt, at least you didn't produce it at the time, they showed that you took the cheese. Right. So, and that's why you got arrested at that point. You were being detained. You were initially being detained.
While they do their little investigation.
Right. Right. They were determining whether or not.
I paid for it or not.
Right.
And then they decided that they had enough evidence to go forth
That's correct.
with a video footage. Now, to me,
There's a lack of footage that showed that you paid for it. Yes.
yeah. Now, I guess, is it my responsibility to just show a receipt to court now because I didn't show it when I could have before? Because remember, I'm trying to figure out what evidence is, and if I were a police officer and Walmart simply told me that they didn't pay for it, there's only two directions that could go. Either I retain my probable cause if I'm a cop, because they, in good faith I took it, but that means, or you don't have the probable cause. But what I'm trying to say is they falsified information to authorities that led to a false arrest.
Well, I don't know as if they falsified it. They may not have completely went back.
They attempted to
Hold on,
influence
let
a
me
public
finish.
servant.
Let me finish.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's the right charge. I'm trying to get it under the right charge.
What I'm saying is they went back to look at the video to see whether or not you paid for the cheese. Right? That's what happened. They didn't see you on the video paying for the cheese. Whenever they looked at the video, they didn't observe you paying for the cheese. Is that fair to say? Now they may not have went far enough back. I don't know. I don't know when they went back. All I'm saying is they provided information to the officer that said that you didn't have a receipt for the cheese. So the officer, based on that, made his decision to write you a summons. I'm just kind of curious as to why you just didn't show the receipt to begin with.
Because I'm trying to work with the policies that were given to me by the police and Walmart initially. And my problem is there's a habit where there's a rut that Walmart falls into. They ask every single person for a receipt, and then they think that the first person that doesn't show a receipt is instantly probable cause to practically arrest for
Let me
that.
ask you when you were, I'm assuming you were walking out and you
Yeah.
were eating the cheese.
No, it was in a package I just bought.
Was it open?
No, it wasn't open.
So you were just holding it?
Yeah,
and
just-
walking out?
Walking out,
Okay.
and let me just let's start with basics. Do you feel like anything illegal went on tonight whatsoever? Or that cop retained his probable cause, Walmart has no liability whatsoever on their part, that basically at the very end here, if I didn't show my receipt, if I didn't show my ID, if I took the custodial route and went to jail and sat in jail until you guys took me to court, when would you drop that trial? When would you drop that time? And like, where would the liability be dropped? Or is it, no, nothing illegal whatsoever?
It doesn't appear like anything.
So I was just arrested with probable cause for an arrest. Oh boy. Oh man. I don't even know where to start anymore.
Okay,
Because-
so-
yeah, sorry, it's very hard.
Okay, let's
because-
back up.
Okay.
All right. So they detained you based on reasonable suspicion. Okay? Because you could not produce a receipt for the item. Okay?
That's what I feel like right there is a violation of unlawful seizure, because not showing a receipt is not a statutable criminal type of offense.
Right. You hadn't been charged at that point.
But you were
So they
using reasonable
continued-
suspicion as if it was a theft, when not showing a receipt has nothing to do with stealing versus the whole point of reasonable suspicion is if you actually see someone take the item, they walk past the register, you see them not pay it, and then you see them walk out the door, and now you can go arrest them for
But what they did,
chopper.
based on what you not being able to produce a receipt, they took it the next step further to go investigate whether or not you paid. And they did that by looking at the video.
It seems like holding me while they go do their investigation is where I feel like my rights are most violated, because an officer is supposed to use his own reasonable suspicion to confirm or dispel his own suspicions for his own job. And while he's waiting there for him, he was waiting there for them to go do their own little investigations and come back. What if they took like 45 minutes to go through all the video? Am I literally supposed to be held there for 45 minutes?
You weren't held for 45 minutes.
But the whole
That's
point
unreasonable.
but the whole point is being held for any amount of time while they don't have the information means that's seconds to go by, minutes to go by. I was literally there sitting there wondering for 10 minutes, are you guys going to do, how many video footages are you going to look through? How many registers do you need to ask? How many cashiers or registers you need to look up, cashiers you need to ask? And to me, that is an unquantifiable place where until they figure out their investigation, I'm still being detained. That's something to me that I feel like a police officer needs to be doing himself to dispel or confirm. And the whole point is, if he wanted to arrest me on trespass or on theft right there, he could have, but he thought he could go with the reasonable suspicion. But that's why I had a contention with him, because he was sort of acting out the policy of a Walmart security guard, stopping me, holding me for detention, for an investigation, for a policy which was not admitted to be theft. It's just admitted that it might be theft, and that to me is reasonable suspicion for a store. When stores are not supposed to have reasonable suspicion. You can't do that. You can't hold someone while you go figure out if they paid or not, just because they didn't show a receipt. So I feel like they use the police as their personal cop, which I have other situations where ratified powers are getting really mixed up with security guards. We have a EU where they think they actually have police powers to detain too. And they're just security guards too. No sworn police powers. We were at a library the other day, and this exact same thing happened. We're at a library during regular business hours, just closed, so it's 4 minutes after. But we're open to the public, and we got detained for bins. The only reason when we got detained, we were walking out with bins that we have all our electronic and legal paperwork equipment. And so a cop, sure, could stop us for reasonable suspicion, maybe not. But we stopped for the security guard. Only because we thought he was a cop, because we asked him that. And so we only figure out after we got detained, after we had this little mini investigation where they walked back and cleared us with the librarian, kind of like how they're clearing us from the thief. And then they come out and clear us, and then finally we find out they're not even cops. We finally got to the bottom of it. They're just non-sworn officers, they call it. But anyways, the point is, non-sworn people out there, people that aren't police officers, don't have the power to detain people for an unspecified amount of time while they go do their own little investigation on their private property with their own policies. So I feel like while I was being detained by this officer, ultimately he was executing the duties of these people who detained me while they did their investigation. So I feel like I need them to be charged with false imprisonment. And that sounds awful, but these are criminal charges that my brother and I keep catching. And until they keep getting, unless they get actually processed, there are policies that are going to stay the same. Right now, DU still has security going around thinking they can detain people. We called the police out that night, Denver police. They literally explained to us, tried to, that's totally legal for them to do, a security guard. Reasonable suspicion detain on private property, short of a citizen's arrest. Nope. They ratified that because they've been the ones that were taking the calls the entire time. You weren't even supposed to be able to route to Denver police warrant checking if you're a security guard. You're not supposed to have those technologies, like the equipment access. That's from a sergeant in internal affairs. So what I'm trying to say is there's a big blend here of powers and where they're delegated, so forth, and the unspecified amount of time that I was detained here for. I just need someone to help me with this, because that is a really bad detainment. Like, let's put it this way. I'll finish up with this.
there's a very basic case law out there. And I'm not going off some deep end for case law. I've had cops think they can just tune me out. I'm just explaining one case law that I found. I read lots of case law, so this is an easy example. It was at Walmart. They detained him himself. They thought he was maybe shoplifting. They saw him in the ladies' department, and then they basically saw a bulge in his shirt. They thought that was enough to detain him, to do their little investigation, to bring him into the back of this store, here, to do an investigation. They basically asked him to cut his hands, all sorts of stupid shit, and eventually tell him to lift up his shirt, and he does. There's a bandage. And he was literally so embarrassed. The entire thing was totally a big, really bad PTSD type of event for him. And he sued Walmart for false imprisonment for $300,000 of what the jury decided, and not what he's suing, just because he doesn't know what he's worth. But he had a lot of pain and suffering, and it was at the hands of people that think they can detain him short of probable cause. And in the trial, the guy even admitted,
you can detain short of probable cause.
not if you're not a cop. That's the big thing. Only police have reasonable suspicion powers. And if you're telling me otherwise, that's why I've been doing this type of thing, because I'm going to take out as many jurisdictions that can't figure that out, because I already explained, you either have citizen's arrest, or you can do consensual encounters, by the way. Security guards can stop anybody on their property voluntarily. If they want to stop and talk, sure. But you can't, detain them with an investigation.
They did. Did they grab you and detain you and hold you?
There is a very big problem now with that definition, where when people are civilized more and they decide not to be physical, if I had kept walking, he would have physically detained me otherwise.
But we're talking about something that
So
didn't
since
happen.
I consented to his authority, I'm
Officer.
still being, the officers, I'm still being detained and not free to go against my will. If I wanted to leave, they would have put me into cuffs temporarily, taking him off if there's no probable cause, but nevertheless still a custodial type of detainment if needs be. So just because it wasn't a physical detainment doesn't mean there wasn't false imprisonment. So no lawful justification. By the way, it says for any amount of time. It doesn't matter if it's 5 or 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if it's 25. If it's above 0, it is illegal for Walmart to detain somebody without the citizen's arrest type powers of a shopkeeper. Only cops can go arresting people for crimes.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal. We're not going to be charging them with false imprisonments or anything like that. But now, let me back up. Are you making a complaint against my officer?
That's a good question. I do not believe that when a store employee executes a policy and says that somebody violates it allegedly, that can give a cop reasonable suspicion to detain somebody. Like, hey, you, stop right here. You have a red shirt.
I would
Things
submit
like
to you
that.
that I do.
So,
Okay. I think we're differing in opinions here.
well, okay. I've been trying to get down to the nitty-gritty for this for a very long time. This is the farthest I've ever done. Okay. So, reasonable suspicion. It's got to be articulate of a crime that is about to happen, is currently happening, or already happened, just recently.
Yeah.
The reason why we're told that we're not supposed to be stopped or by Walmart employees, by Walmart employees, we ask them all the time, you're not supposed to stop people if they don't show a receipt because there's no proof of actual wrongdoing yet. And so, there was no proof of wrongdoing for the cop either, enough for reasonable suspicion. Because they're doing the same thing as a security guard if the security were trying to detain me too. All I did was walk out without showing a receipt, and I'm literally told by Walmart employees that they're not supposed to be able to stop me themselves if they don't. So I don't think that they can get a cop in to do their job in case they need the extra powers.
that's more of an issue that you need to take up with Walmart.
Well, a cop's not even supposed to be taking their call. A cop is not even supposed to be standing there on duty himself. He's either supposed to be a paid police officer on duty in the whole city, which he can stop by and
He's
chat.
working here off duty.
But see, that's the thing. Was he on duty or is he off duty right now?
He's on duty.
Exactly. There is Walmart employees that are doing their own policy things that you're only supposed to have a security guard doing, if you want, your own policies for asking. Well, you can ask for receipts or something. Anybody can. What I'm saying is a cop is not allowed to work as a off-duty cop when he's on duty at someplace like a Walmart. He's not, because he's not on their payroll, so he can't do their jobs. He can't ask for receipts himself because that's not his job, right? He wouldn't be asking for receipts himself. If he's not asking for receipts himself, then he's not supposed to be able to stop me if I don't show receipts. That's not even his job. See what I mean? He was standing there next to a Walmart employee. He happens to hear it, of course, does. The employee's right there. She says stop, I don't stop. But me not stopping is not like me not stopping to a cop. Me not stopping to stop right there. If you were on private property and you just hear someone say stop right there, and you know they're not a cop that's saying to stop, and the person keeps walking, that person doesn't have the power to stop that person on duty, like a detainee, like with reasonable suspicion or problem. You can't. No one can go around stopping people. And so if I kept walking, I would have been stopped for literally doing nothing illegal at all. Nothing, not even legally suspicious, because it's just a policy for them to ask, and it's not a requirement for me to stop. And therefore, it's not even suspicious for me to keep going. And that's our contention with these people all the time, is that they think anybody that doesn't respond to their questions is now automatically suspicious enough for theft, when all it is profiling, because you get so many people that give up their rights so quickly that everybody shows their receipt, that the oddball, yes, of course there's going to be the one that steals that doesn't show receipts, duh. But then there's people like me where I don't want to stop in the first place because I don't have to. You guys tell me I don't have to. And you tell me it's my policy, your policy, for me to keep walking, be able to keep walking, and not be physically stopped. And the most that they can do, the most they tell me they can do, is call it in real quick. Hey, go check the video footage on this guy. And then they can follow him out to the vehicle, take some pictures, get a plate, turn that over to a cop, so that if there is evidence of theft, now the cop has real probable cause to go and arrest them for theft. In this case, there was no evidence of theft. The whole investigation was done live. I was held while they went and did their investigation, when they could be taking pictures of me going out while they go check their cameras. So I shouldn't be detained while they're checking their cameras. That is so illegal. I don't know how else to explain it.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write it.
Thank you. I just need someone to try and help me start the due process on it so I can get the attorneys on it. Because I have other cases that attorneys are looking into. It's big.
Can I have your ID so I can write down information about it?
Thank you. Yes. Because I know where our contentions are. And
yeah, we definitely have some contentions.
Yeah.
So
I think it's obviously something that can't be resolved in the streets. Why? So I'm with you on that. I just wanted to get a point across that I don't think I was ever lawfully detained tonight anyway by the police officers or the security or everybody. Okay. Yeah, I think it was a total false imprisonment and not attempting to influence certain public servants, but falsifying information to authorities.
Fair enough.
Bad investigation. I feel like I could have gotten let go, or not let go. I feel like they could have followed me out while they did it.
Fair enough.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
ID, please.
Okay. I always have this license plate. I didn't pay a license plate. I took it a long time ago. My cop relinquished my license. I need to get an ID. So I have my name in it.
Okay, go ahead.
William Montgomery. WALLIM MONTGOMERY.
It's William.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a middle name?
Kent. Yeah.
What is it?
Kent.
And your birthday?
July 7th, 1985.
Your address?
305 West Magnolia Street. And that's PMB, private mail box, 221. And Fort Collins, Colorado, 80521.
So this isn't a physical address?
No, it's not a physical address.
Do you have a physical address?
No, at the moment, no. You want to know the truth?
Okay. Well, I do want to know the truth. What about a family member or a friend that you would, if I wanted to come see you or something like that?
You can find us in the Commerce City parking lot. Parking. We have a van there. We live in a van.
So how long have you been living in the van?
We park elsewhere too, by the way. We're not like stalled or anything.
Uh-huh.
But like off and on for the last couple of years.
All right. So when you say PMB,
That's my private mailbox.
okay, what's the number?
221?
221. That's, you said Fort Collins?
Yeah, Fort Collins. Sorry. We're in a multi-jurisdictional homeless discrimination, human trafficking, racketeering ring where we got ran out of Fort Collins with speeding tickets, and we kept getting more poverty tickets in Westminster, Northglenn,
All right.
Fair Heights, whatever.
What's
Here we
your
ended
zip
up in
code?
Commerce City. You guys are the safest place so far.
Wow, that's good.
Except for this.
80.
8521.
What about a phone number?
970 412 5463.
All right.
Let's put it this way. Thank you. Because when I tried to simply get something reported in existence for Denver University, the security there, the police showed up. They told me, absolutely not. We will not touch this. There's no report to take. There's nothing we can attach it to. Blah blah blah. Turns out that might be, because I'm waiting for the internal affairs investigation. That might be a very large failure to report. And I was just simply wanting to get some paper trail started so that people can know what the facts are in case there are any still discrepancies there. And then go from there with having some attorneys look at it, because we've been through this many times. And I want to make sure that you guys' policies are good too, so that you don't go falsely detaining people on Walmart grounds, acting as Walmart's employees, security guards.
All right.
So, but thank you very much.
All right,
I'm
sir.
really sorry for the trouble.
All right.
But
Anything else I can do for you?
no, sir. Thank
right.
you. Sorry for the trouble.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Yeah, they said we asked if he was a cop, and he said, yeah, I am. And they still think that they are. They have like investigators and sergeants and stuff. And they have my name illegally. They've ended up banning us after they released us, only because we called the police out and we couldn't get anything resolved with the police. It didn't start to look like they wanted to just get rid of us for uncooperation when we were very cooperative. We stopped, we gave our IDs, everything. And so basically, I have my name illegally seized now on this property. And let me tell you this real quick. I have to tell you this, guys, because my brother and I have been on this type of investigation for a very long time now. And in Fort Collins, the same thing happened to us a couple years ago. We had a first-time policy violation of having a tent on CSU property. It's a forested area. And they treated that as we already had some sort of formal warning, and they detained us to get our IDs so that they could write us a trespassing order to ban us from the whole property. But we never even got the formal warning yet. So we were supposed to just be able to be escorted off the property without having to be detained or show our IDs or anything like that. So we ended up having our IDs detained, with and so these unlawful seizures they're very bad because there's no due process. There's no trespassing charge that we got that day for why our names got ran. We just have some protection order, and so it's a way to human traffic people off the land. And these people have been picking people off without due process. The employee there lied to the police officer and said that they gave us a prior formal warning when they didn't. So that's the lying, that's the falsifying information to authorities, to lack due process, and so forth and so on.
Real quick,
There's a long story.
Scott, let me give you an actual business
Hey,
card.
thanks.
Because like I said, my information's on that ticket, which we didn't get back. No. But anyway. that way you
I
have
want to keep it for nostalgic reasons, personally. If that's okay.
Well, just know
Whatever.
there won't be a court date because we're not going to let the DA go forward with a case because obviously you had the receipt. So
Okay.
there won't be a letter that you're going to get that has a court date to go to on that.
Absolutely understandable.
All right.
Hopefully the DA and maybe you guys with the report can understand that something like this probably has some illegal nature to it. Otherwise, getting arrested and just being dropped out like this. I just want to write it down. I'll try and get you guys my own type of witness statement. We're really behind on witness statements right now. All we have is audio. This entire thing was recorded before I even talked to you guys. Right after I paid for it. I've done this too many times to count. I'm tired of being unlawfully seized. So please help me, guys. Start the due process with Walmart. They told me they're not supposed to be able to stop people for investigation short of a citizen's arrest. Thank you.